I'm BJ Dorman. I'm chairman of CEO Space, and I'm here on CEO Space TV. Jerry has been to about 50 plus forums. He's been here. He's raised a lot of money. He's raised in the seven figures, you know, not little money, big money. And he comes and gives back as head of a software company that's in development right now. And he's done a number of businesses, but this one is, I think, going to be really big. I think it's going to be one of the super technology companies you'll see resold for a big number in the future. And he's an expert in that space. And he's on staff. He staffs and gives back as a guy that's raised all this money, done all this work. And so my goal, of course, is that you would and will really learn from someone who has been here this often, this long, is humble and gives back. We call it learn, earn, and return. And that you would have the just the excitement of getting what you need answered.
When I first ran into CEO Space, I'll be honest, my first meeting, I expected that it was going to be an MLM and that you were going to say, and if you bring two people and you bring, I was so ready to run for the door. And it didn't happen. And I came back for the second meeting and they were talking about corporate governance. And I realized there were things that I didn't know and that I could learn them here. And as soon as I had that knowledge, as soon as I believed that there was something I needed at CEO Space, I determined to come. I was so strong in my belief that I wound up quitting my job because they wouldn't give me time off. I don't recommend this, but I did it. I quit my job because they wouldn't give me time off so that I could come to my first forum, and I raised the capital by fund busting in the first weekend. It took me 3 days to raise the capital to come to CEO Space. And I've never had a job ever since. I don't mean that in a bad way. I have never had a job because I have always been doing my dream. And it was the best decision I ever made.
Jerry and I started our company and thought we could just fund it ourselves and make it happen and get the contracts. And we didn't know anything about business, honestly. Let's face facts, okay? We were about to lose everything. We'd gone as far as we could go when we came across CEO Space. And they explained what it was to us, and really it sounded, you know, kind of too good to be true. It sounded a little bit unbelievable, but we couldn't poke any holes in it, so we came. We met our first investor, got the first $100,000 check, and realized it works. Now we know it's true, and that was 7 years ago.
Small company, mid-sized company, big-sized company, you'll speed up your growth.
You will definitely speed up your growth. And the skills that you learn at CEO Space, I had an opportunity as a consultant to go with a company that was presenting in front of the board of Chase Manhattan Bank. Okay, this is not small potatoes. Okay, and we go in there and we're sitting in their lobby waiting and we're cooling our heels for a half hour, and I'm going, this is not a good sign. And we get in front of the board, and the chairman of the board does this as soon as we start setting up. And he goes, we're running behind. We don't have time for your full presentation. Just tell us what you're going to do for us. And they had me come out 2 days early. We'd been practicing this half-hour presentation. And I turned to look at everybody else on the team, including the CEO of this other company, and they look like a bunch of deer with individual Mack trucks heading right for them. They have no idea what to do. I'm not the big guy here. I'm there to help. But because of the skills I've learned at CEO Space, I stepped in front of them and I said, we're going to take all of your data for 3 years. We're going to pull it into a big analysis engine. We're going to analyze it. We're going to project what you're going to do for the next year in shipping. And then we're going to put it out for bid and we're going to save you 60% on your shipping for the coming year. That's what we're going to do. And I stepped back. And we waited. And the chairman of the board goes, Alice, we're pushing everybody back by a half hour. I got to hear this. Go ahead and do your presentation. Bernie, they didn't know how to do this. These are people who are at a big corporation. They're already making millions of dollars. They have all the contacts. Heck, they got us in front of Chase Manhattan. And when the question was asked, they didn't know how to do a snap. They didn't know how to handle that.
To make the most powerful request that would get the actual decisions made. That is, and you could not have done that before CEO Space.
Oh, heavens no.
You'd be the other deer.
I came to CEO Space 7+ years ago, and my first snap took me about a half hour to get out what the heck I was doing.
A decade of working in banking, I'm a qualified auditor investment manager. I learned more from 3 days on the languaging of business and how to talk into the listening of your people you're with from Bernie and the team here. That's priceless information. You've got people here that are the best of the best in us, and they're not here to earn money. That actually there's rules. The instructors and people, the faculty, cannot do business with you. They are here to help and brain tithe, because you first learn, then you earn, and then you return and reinvest back into other people. I've been mentored before because I paid $100,000 an hour for their time, and I've literally had price information people up till 4 in the morning working my projects with me. I'm going to get a platinum membership and come back time and time again. You know the only reason? Because I need to keep my axe sharp, as our friend Les Brown said.
Well, the magic of how the meals actually works is all structured on the snaps that you're doing at the table. You don't know who you're going to go and sit down next to, and you don't know who they know. And I've sat at tables where people have come and they've said, well, I'm raising X amount of money, or I have this business. And I've had them say exactly somebody that I just had the meal before with, or somebody else at the table has had a meal with somebody who has the exact answer to what they need. And I've watched and participated in helping people to go meet the banker that's going to fund their business, or the banker who's looking for the next deal that they want, and you say, hey, I just ate with that guy for lunch. And when you find a connection like that, the environment at CEO Space is designed so that everybody is busily trying to connect other people with who they need. And when you sit down and you have the meal and you have the time to actually get to know exactly what they want, quite often, right there in the middle of the meal, you'll get up and you'll take them somewhere and you'll say, this is who you need to talk to. This is who you need to meet.
I don't think that's ever been said on film before. In other words, you're not only getting that everyone at the table is leaning in, trying to give you an appointment if there's any way they can do it. So you're getting appointments at the table, but many people are getting up and going to other tables that they now know people, or the faculty like myself are going to other tables, and we're bringing them specific answers, and they're setting up additional appointments. That happens every meal.
It does happen every meal.
Yeah, it's so amazing. I mean, that part of
I
connected.
wish that I could add up all the millions of dollars that I've put together for different deals where I was able to connect the people who needed the connection. I don't have a number on that. I know it's got to be in the hundreds. Had a lady come in, her company was producing a food product.
Okay.
And we went through her snap, helped her compress it down. We got down to the end and I said, so what do you need next? We always say next because you can only need one thing next. You can't need 5.
Right.
And so she thought about it and she said, well, if I could find a Class 3 FDA approved food facility to produce, my product in, that's what I need, because right now I'm leasing out periodically.
Right.
And I said, I know somebody, and I pulled out my phone and I went, yeah, and he's going to be here tomorrow. So I dialed the number and handed her the phone and said, tell him I said hi, I talked to him yesterday. She got off the phone. She already had an appointment to meet with him after he arrived at CEO Space to set up her leasing his his food facility. And the funny thing is, why was he coming to CEO Space? Because he had excess capacity he wanted to sell. Okay, he's not even here yet, and we're hooking him up. She just got here.
Oh, this is current, right, in this class. This just happened, you mean?
It did.
Oh, so that's a real story from this class. I didn't know if it was a past class.
It gets better.
Okay.
Because then I said to her, okay, so now you got that. What do you need next? And she was like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, well, think about it for a second. What do you need next? And she said, well, I need a person, probably a female, who's a coach who coaches female entrepreneurs. And the lady sitting next to her hands her a business card and goes, that's me. And I said, great, now what do you need next? And she goes, stop doing that.
I know, but that's what happens.
This is what happens here.
Well, you just described CEO Space. We try and tell people it's a hall of miracles, and it seems like it's kind of hokey, I think. But if all of you agree to be in cooperation, not in competition, and everybody's agreed before they come, the difference is miraculous. It's just amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
And a lot of it comes from the power.
But you're saying it's common, you're in that
language.
directory room, and while people are making their requests in the directory room, they're getting results and connections.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just at the meals. It's in the lobby. It's at breaks. It's at the pool. It's at Starbucks when you're getting to Starbucks.
People know you're coming in, and they already know you and they know your project from prior forums, then at that point, as you're coming in, people may be calling you and saying, hey, are you looking for this? Yeah, I thought you were. I've got somebody here for you.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to put you on the phone, set up a meeting.
Well,
they aren't even here yet.
That's their second one, yeah. As they come back, it's more powerful than the first time.
I really enjoyed the meal tables. I mean, you know, networking is one thing, but sitting down for dinner with 6 complete strangers and making sure you go to a different table every night, you get to know people. And again, there's no competition. Everybody's just helping each other out. And to sit and talk and eat, in such a relaxed way, it just flows. And people have come up to me and said, basically, I choose you. And you choose me? She goes, you're going to be on my board.
I'm an analyst both by trade and by nature, and I've watched CEO Space for 7 years. I can tell you where the magic comes from. The magic comes from the top. Bernie, you and all of the executive staff that come in from the office, you're all focused on serving everybody who's here. Okay? If there's somebody who's got a problem, you'll drop a meeting. You'll drop something else that isn't as important, and you'll say to somebody, I'll catch up with you later. This person's in crisis. And I've seen it. And they go and they serve that person. And that example of service is then reflected by the volunteer staff, the people like me who come and pay to be here. I could pay and come for the full forum and not staff. I love to staff because I get to serve people. And so you have this volunteer staff now that are all here focused on serving people. And when you get the executive staff and the volunteer staff, and they're all focused on service, and then you get the students who come in, and they're exposed to what environment? They're exposed to us, and they're exposed to the returning grads who are also focused on service. And you get that many people focused on serving each other, magic's got to happen. We have member meetings where they happen in between the forum. And we had a member meeting just a month ago where everybody was going to bring all of their directories from all of their forums. And we were going to talk about what people needed. And I went back to a directory that was 3 years old to hook somebody up. Because I had all their contact information, I could still get a hold of them. So the fact that you're here today could get you business 3, 4, 5 years from now.
I came here, not really knowing what to expect. I just trusted the words of Richard Kay, who is my president, and he invited me in. It just made a lot of sense to be around a network of CEOs and business experts from all over the world to partner together and learn and see how I could grow my business even more. And it's just been amazing. I'm also ashamed to say I'm the Authentic Health Coach because I'm totally rebranding my business after this week. I've learned so much about branding and strategy and marketing that I had, was totally clueless of. They talk about what you don't know, and I had no clue. The things that I was doing in my own business that totally hold me back. So I'll be totally changing my brand, my marketing strategy. I found so many joint venture partners here, affiliates here, I've gotten literally like over $10,000 of legal advice here for free that I did not expect at all. So it's been, it's absolutely exceeded my expectations, and I'm so excited to come back and grow my business even that much more.